Guys, welcome to episode 103, I think, of an iteration of Dave Tate's Table Talk. This is not a full episode. I'm joined with Matt the Man Goodwin. We're here with our, I don't know what we're going to call this, happy hour? I don't know what the fuck we want to call it.
I don't know, Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, so I wanted to get Matt back on because we had such a good time last time. And you're such a fucking vision.
Hey, you know, I mean, I'm something.
So, for those who don't know, Goodwin has no idea what we're going to be talking about today. Has no idea.
Yeah, going into this blind's awesome.
This is really, it's kind of fun.
I can't wait to get punched in the nuts.
So, Matt Goodwin, not only is he the head of all things sales here at elitefts, he is now an avid runner. So we need to jump into this fucking 5K experience.
Okay. So, I recently moved to downtown Columbus, right? So,
and I recently moved out of downtown.
Yeah.
Columbus,
so I come, you leave. Awesome.
Giggity.
So, you know, I'm kind of like a Blue Jackets fan, Columbus Blue Jackets. So like their arena is like 1.1 miles away from my front door. So
that was the most fucking runner answer.
Yeah,
You're
right.
Like, 1.1 miles.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to get season tickets. So I'm talking to this lady about getting season tickets. I bring it up to my wife. She's like, over my goddamn dead body, are you getting season tickets to the Columbus Blue Jackets? We're not spending money on that. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So anyways, we're at a game with friends of ours, and they have season tickets. And they were like, oh, we're doing this Columbus Blue Jackets 5K. And I don't even know what a 5K is, right?
Yeah,
so to me, I'm like, okay, what is that? Like a half marathon? I really don't know. And my wife's like, oh, well, we'll do that. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
wait. Yeah.
I didn't agree to this at all.
She's really trying to get you to that death do you part thing.
Yes. Yeah. Like, just bury me now. The insurance policies are paid. So anyways, with the, with signing up for this 5K, for each person that signs up, you get 2 tickets to a game.
Legit.
Okay. So I'm like, all right, well, I get tickets to the game.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can
go
manage
get
this.
super hammered.
So I'm still kind of like against it. So I'm like, I don't think I want to do this. And she goes, we do everything you want to do. And we never do what I want to do.
You know,
I want to do this. I'm like, okay, you're right, sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm in. So I tag another guy and his wife into like a post on Facebook to kind of sucker them into it too. Matt Best and Kathy, they buy a bunch of equipment from us. They have an awesome home gym at their house. So I'm like, all right, you guys are coming with us. So if I'm doing this, Matt, you're doing it with me. So long story short, we do this 5K and, you know, we all like, well, we're going to walk it, right? So I walk every night with the dog. I'm like, okay, I can do 3.1 miles.
Okay. Well, first off, what type of dog do you have for people that don't know?
Okay, so I've got an old English bulldog.
Yeah,
and she's 9.
Yeah. Known for speed.
Yeah, she's like a pig. She just kind of and just kind of like sits there like,
I can keep up with that dog.
Yeah, that's my kind of speed. So I thought we were just going to walk this freaking thing. So, you know, we get in line and everybody's kind of fired up and all right, here we go. And, you know, the gun goes off, boom, everybody starts going. And like, I just start walking. Well, next, I look up, literally within 3 seconds, everybody in my group is like 50 yards ahead of me. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, this is like a power walk. I'm like, this is not what I had signed up for.
Yeah.
By the first block, my left ankle is completely killing me. My feet are hurt. Like my lungs are burning. I got old women passing me, just like blowing by me. I'm like, man, this is bullshit. So I end up, my goal was to get this done in an hour. Okay. My son, who can be such an ass at times, is like, that is going to take you 2.5 hours. I'm like, there's no way that's going to take me 2.5 hours. So my goal was 1 hour. So, I'm struggling through this thing. My ankle's killing me. Everything hurts. And it wasn't like it was like taxing me, like, you know, cardiovascular wise. It was just like your my feet hurt, my leg hurt. Like, you know what I mean? It was cold. It was in the middle of February, like in fucking Columbus, Ohio. It's like 20 degrees out. Yeah. So we get to the very end and I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, shit, I think I'm going to be under an hour. So I actually like jogged the last like quarter mile of this thing.
Get the fuck out.
Swear
you didn't tell me to jog the last quarter mile.
I jogged the quarter mile of this thing. And my goal was just to get ahead of my wife.
Oh yeah. Well,
so I can say
you just have to assert dominance.
So I ended up beating her by 10 seconds. So I get this thing done in like 46 minutes. I'm like super amped about it. You know what I mean? But in the back of my mind, I'm like, how did that like fat 65-year-old woman blow by me? Like
aggressively.
I don't know how she finished way before me. So in my head, I'm like, I should be able to do this in 30 minutes. I should be able to do a 5K in 30 minutes.
Just to put it into perspective, I did a 5K in 30 minutes.
And there you go. And I think that's reasonable, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how can you not run a 10-minute mile?
Right.
So this is all in my head. So I'm like, you know what, man? Like, I went somewhere with my wife. No, I went somewhere. My wife was shopping. I had to go get like an oil change or something in the car, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I can't get this 10-minute mile out of my head. So I'm like, oh, there's like this runner's store like right up the block from me where they do the whole diagnostics on your feet and your walking pattern and all this sort of shit. $435 later, I come out of this store.
They scanned you. They were like, oh, this guy's got pig hooves.
Well, he was like, they were like, you did a 5K? And I'm like, well, yeah, we walked it. And he's like, well, what shoes did you wear? I'm like, well, these. And it's just like a pair of like old school Adidas. And he was like, you walked that 5K in those? He goes, no wonder why your shit hurt. And I'm like, yeah. So anyways, this guy upsells me. I spent $435. I get the watch. I get socks. I get special running socks. I get these shoes I've never even heard of. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell is all this shit? So we just proceed that me and my wife were going to start jogging. And so I've been doing this now for almost 2 weeks. And
that's fucking good, man.
I tell you, I've stuck with it.
It's hard because that shit sucks.
It's like, so bad, dude. It's so bad. Yeah. Well, the first week we did it, we had like some freakishly warm weather here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it was like 65.
So
I was like, this is awesome, right? Last week it was like 20. My lungs were burning. I couldn't breathe. I got snot pouring out of my nose. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. So I'm going to try to stick with this. I know now that I'm invested in it. Like I spent money on this. And we've been running the little trek that I've been running is 3/4 of a mile. So I can't jog the whole thing yet. I have to stop and walk a little bit of it, but I got this 3/4 of a mile trek down to like 10 minutes. So like, okay, I'm close.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not bad.
So, I'm going to stick this out as long as my body will allow me to.
Yeah.
Because I do have like, it was like an old ankle injury that never really healed right. I never really rehabbed it right. And it does hurt. And even when they scanned my feet, the guy was like, your left ankle hurts, doesn't it? I'm like, yeah, bad. And he's like, yeah, I can see your foot's pitched in and all that kind of weird shit. Anyways, not an excuse. So I'm going to just do this and see what happens. So
yeah. And it's funny because like there's always, I feel like as people get older, like I'm in my 30s now. And like the shit that I thought was important in my 20s, just I don't give a fuck about anymore. Yeah. Right? Like there comes a certain point where it's like, oh wow, like you just get like this whole life thing thrown at you.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, if something really fucking bad happened, I would get eaten by the bear first.
Dude, trust me. The last like 20 years of my life, I was sacrificing for the good of the group. There was no getting out of it.
Everybody's running next to you.
I mean, I'm just like, just you guys go. I got this. Taking it head on. Yeah. But you know, like I'm trying to like get out of the whole meathead mentality type lifestyle, and not that I'm like change. Like I still want to be able to like bench 300 pounds, right?
Yeah, right.
Like,
oh, absolutely. You have these like minimum.
Yeah, it's like there's no way I want to bench less than 300, squat less than 400, deadlift less than 400, whatever it may be. But at the same time, like I'd like to, like I feel like I should be able to jog 1 mile without my lungs bleeding. You know what I mean? Like, and minimal boob movement, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't want to feel everything jiggling every time I boom, 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 and my pecs are flapping, my gut's flapping. I'm like, there's gotta be more to this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 45. I don't want to die. And I'd like to live a little bit longer.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to go out via 5K.
No. And look, I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm like running a half marathon.
No, fuck no.
Marathon. I have no aspirations for that. I would like a sub 10-minute mile that I could do any given day. Like just wake up like, I'm going to go run a mile, get it done in 10 minutes, be done.
I was thinking about this from my perspective is like, okay, how would I know that this is going the right way? If in a bad situation, I can beat out 50% of the people. Yeah,
you're good. You're good.
Fucking flip a coin.
Bingo.
That's it.
Zombie apocalypse, you're probably okay.
I'll be like, okay, cool. There's going to be some sorry sap.
Depends on the zombie. Like, The Walking Dead zombie, like, I don't know how you get eaten by those guys that barely walk.
And they're,
now, what was
they're like fucking melting.
And they're barely moving. But like, what was it? World War Z?
Those are scary.
Those things were like batshit fast.
The one in the mall. Fuck.
The old one?
No, they did a remake.
Night of the Living Dead?
But so it was the Romero ones.
Yes.
It's like the fucking sprinting ones.
Those creep me out.
That ruined my high school career because I saw that shit as a freshman.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to the mall.
Yeah. No, well, I was just like, wow, that fucked me up.
Yeah. So,
like, I'm not outrunning that.
Depending on the zombie apocalypse that does come upon us, if it's the Walking Dead version, I think I'm okay. If I can do my 10 minutes mile.
Yeah, right.
So, this is the shit that goes on in my head. But
but it's true. Like I immediately go, okay, bad shit happens, or like a wild animal. It's like, okay, am I stronger than the wild animal? Probably not.
No.
Am I faster? Depends on the animal.
Yeah.
But like, I also need to be tough enough to fucking realize like a bad situation.
Yeah.
And like just have those senses. I'm telling you right now, if like in my current state of physique, if bad shit happened, I wouldn't be able to hear the air raid sirens because I'm breathing out of my mouth.
Yeah. And and we even like I'm watching like Mark Bell sprint and stuff, and I think he just did a half marathon or something like that. It's like, why do we get this mentality like, hey, I'm gonna be a meathead, I have to be filthy, gross, and out of shape?
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why not just be in shape?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I had that mentality for like the last 10 years. Like, I'm not gonna run.
Yeah,
I just gotta lay on this bench and push.
Yeah. Someone tie my shoes.
Stand up and squat 3/4 of the way down and get up, and I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I barely even tie my shoes anymore. Like, I'm wearing these boots right now. They're not tied because I don't want to bend down and tie them. I mean,
I'm a fucking athlete.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to buy a $400 watch and run.
Look, 2 years ago, man, I dropped 35 pounds.
Yeah.
I went from like what happened was we did a video of me doing an install, and I'm watching this thing, and I see somebody walk by.
You go, who's that fat fuck?
I said, who the fuck is that? And the guy that shot it was like, that's you. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no.
I'm gross. And I mean, I had this big old boiler of a belly, and I was like, ugh. So I did kind of clean that up 2 years ago, and it's kind of been stale since, right? So it's like, I haven't lost any weight, I haven't done anything else with it. So I figure, look, man, I'm 45. I can lift 3 to 4 days a week. I jog 3 to 4 days a week. Maybe I'm buying 5 or 10 years here.
And it's funny because you had mentioned it's like you saw yourself. Self-deprecation might be the best fucking way to lose weight. Dude. If someone sticks a camera in your face and it's like, who I don't even recognize me.
Oh, you want to lose weight? Film yourself having sex.
Oh,
that's gross.
Yeah.
I caught a glimpse of I caught a glimpse of myself once in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh God, we got to move, move over."
Oh God, no!
I can't go.
I can't believe you're blind.
I can't continue this. Like, I can't believe you let me touch you. I'm gross. So I mean, it's just but yeah, the jogging thing, I don't know how long it'll last. I hope it's because that's something I imagine I could probably do. I see a lot of old dudes running; they're barely moving, right? But they're out there jogging.
Okay, so
I can be that guy.
Let me give you a fucking tough question. Let me put you on the spot here.
All right.
Now, in terms of your drinking habits,
yes,
is that one of the first things that went when you went to lose weight?
You're like no. but like when I don't drink during the week. I can't.
Just days that end in Y.
It's just right. The older when you get older, like you just can't. Like I don't sleep like I used to, right? Like
right.
I make the joke all the time. It's like I just try it. I can't outsleep my piss. Like I wake up the only reason why I wake up every morning is because I got to take a leak.
Right.
When you mix alcohol into that, you just don't sleep well.
No.
And then you feel like hell. So really, man, if it's during the week, we go out to dinner or something, I may have like a beer. On the weekends, I'll have a few here and there, whatever, a couple of drinks. Depends on what we're doing. But the diet thing, it wasn't really, it wasn't so much the drinking because it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
But it was the food. My thing was like I would go out to lunch every day, but in the town we live in, dude, it's pizza or fast food, right? Yeah, so I mean, I was just eating garbage. And then I tell people like, why you're fat. It's not a mystery. Okay. Like you're fat because you do ABC.
Yeah. You do fat things.
I know I'm fat because I overeat. Like I'm the guy that eats till I want to puke. You know, so I overeat. You know, alcohol doesn't help, and I do very little, if any, cardiovascular exercise. So I mean, those are the three things that I kind of contribute to my being. I wouldn't say I'm fat. I'm chubby. But I mean, I knew if I could dial those things in, that I would lose weight. So, I mean, honestly, dude, I was probably eating pizza 4 times a week, whether it was for lunch, dinner, like pizza. It's a lot of pizza. So I kind of was like, all right, I'm only going to eat pizza on Friday. So I do pizza Fridays. That's it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like, you know, dial in a diet Monday through Thursday and Friday pizza and then Saturday, Sunday, kind of do whatever. So that was really it. But like the alcohol, I mean, yeah, I can't sit at home and drink a case of beer. Like I don't know how guys do that. I don't know how I could do that back in the day. I can't do it.
No.
And you know, my beer taste has changed. Like I can't
you're
sit
now
there.
a fucking IPA.
Yeah,
guy,
I'm a
sick.
microbrew dude, man. I'm like,
oh my God.
I want to go to the little ale houses, have like 1 or 2 beers and go home.
Oh, is there jalapeno in this?
Yeah. Oh God, I had a jalapeno beer. And my best friend, Nick, he was with me. He's like, dude, don't order that. Because I wanted something very low alcohol because I was actually driving. So I was just having 1 beer and I just wanted to leave. And the guy was like, oh yeah, this jalapeno cerveza. I'm like, it just sounded bad. And I'm like, no, it can't be that bad. And the guy's like, no, it's good. And Nick's like, nope, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. So I ordered this thing, literally got 2 sips of it and was like, done.
I'm good.
Horrible. Shit. So don't quit putting shit in beer that doesn't belong in beer.
Yeah, just make beer.
Yeah, like why do you gotta fuck it all up by putting a jalapeno in it?
And it's like, and they get too fancy with the IPA shit sometimes. It's like, this one tastes like a Snickers bar wrapped in pine leaves.
I mean, and you could be the big beer snob dude. It's like, oh, well, you know, the IPA.
This is a triple XL IPA hopped in.
And I'm not like that, dude. And honestly, like, lately, and I've never been a liquor drinker, ever. Like, I've never done well with liquor. And I started drinking, like, we'll go out to dinner, I'll have, like, a Manhattan.
God, you are fancy.
Dude, but they're good.
You go running and now you drink Manhattan.
I know. It's like I'm all bouché. But it's,
I moved to the city. And
I moved out of the sticks into the city and I'm doing all this weird shit. But
the liquor thing is right. Like that, there was a point where I dropped about 50 pounds. And that's when I ran my 5K. Ironically enough, that's why I kind of like connected with that. And the liquor thing was like the best thing. If I'm going to go out to drink, in terms of like caloric load, I was like, I'm just going to drink 1 or 2 days because if I drink like 7 beers, I'm going to get the nacho fries.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get I'm just going to eat like
the grease and everything else is coming in with it.
Oh, for sure.
But I think you go through the stages of drinking, right? Like when you're college, you're like shots, pound beers, like whatever. Well, let's start in high school. High school, you're like, you just drink whatever you can, right?
Yeah.
So
rubbing
like
alcohol,
sitting in the backseat of a car, drinking warm Busch Light.
Oh, absolutely.
And loving life.
Yeah.
Right. And then like
your 18 friends split a 12 pack.
Yeah,
right.
You get in your early 20s and some asshole shows up with a bottle of whiskey. You're like, shots.
Yeah.
And then you end up like sucking your thumb and pissing your pants in the corner all night long.
Yep.
And you're like, well, that wasn't fun. And then like, I think you kind of get into the beer phase and then you move on. And then, like I said, now it's just like, I can go have like 2 Manhattans at dinner. You get like that nice kind of like
just
fuzz,
gloss,
go home,
gloss,
pass out, go to bed. And I'm not gross. Like I'm not like.
And it's funny because like I'm a whiskey fan, right, and a Scotch fan. So like I have some like nicer Scotches and shit, and I've had the same bottle for like years because it's just a little bit, and and then you're like, whoo. Like,
my wife will look at me because I'm trying to make these Manhattans at home. Like I know what I'm doing, right? So, I even got like the little bourbon bowl ice ball machine, like maker thing. Dude, I'm so stupid. Anyways, she looks at me. She goes, "You're just drinking all this liquor." I'm like, "This is the same bottle that I bought the very first bottle." It's like
same
so
thing.
Over half full. Like I'm not in, but I don't like drinking at home. Period. Like it's just like boring. Like. That's why I know, like, okay, you must not be an alcoholic because you're not drinking at home. And, you know, it's not like I can sit at a bar. Like, we'll just go to dinner or whatever.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's, you know, and I know, like, right now, the hip thing is this bourbon thing. Like, everybody's on this bourbon thing.
Well, everything is made in a bourbon cask now. Like,
right.
It's like, just like, oh, this beer was made in bourbon. Why don't you just fucking make bourbon?
Bourbon, beer barrel, whatever. I'm like, But the bourbon thing is like, I get it, but I don't. Like, dude, you could put 4 different bourbons in front of me from like the bottom of the bottom and the top of the top, and I wouldn't know the difference.
Here's the key, right? As someone who has had like very expensive scotch, if you say, "Ooh, it's got smoky notes," everybody's like, yeah.
Just make
100%.
shit up.
Yeah, you're like, it tastes like a boot, right? I like it just because it is like, it's so stupid. Like, you drink this shit and you're like, I feel better than everybody else.
Yeah, right. Look at me in my fancy bottle. Right. Like, I don't know what the hell the difference is.
So I have like, I don't like it because of like, oh, this is like the tastiest thing ever. Yeah. I like it because it signified something. Like I bought the bottle like after the company I used to work for broke $1 million in sales. Like it was, so like you worked in a
celebratory thing.
Yeah. So it's like, oh fuck yeah, $200 bottle of scotch. You're like, oh, this is fucking sweet. And then you're like sipping it. You're like, haha.
Yeah, right.
But then it's so expensive. You're like, I'm not going to drink this.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it sit on the shelf.
I'm just going to like it.
So when people come over, they're like, wow, you got that? I'm like, yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah,
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, when I moved, right before I moved here, I had an old box of shit that I had in my mom's basement from college. Like I just was like just dumping boxes in there. She's like, I found this box of old booze in the basement. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, she's like, don't worry, I dumped it all down the sink. And I was like, wait a minute. And I looked into my liquor cabinet. I was like, I don't have my expensive bottles.
And she dumped it.
She fucking dumped a $175 bottle of booze right down. I was like, that's what I get.
Yep.
That's why I can't have nice shit. I can't have good booze and I can't have nice sunglasses because they were.
Well, you're 30, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get my first like nice pair of sunglasses. I bought a pair of Oakleys when I was like 34.
Yeah.
I still got them.
Yeah.
Now in my 20s, I would never spend more than $5 on a pair of sunglasses because they were gone, broken, or whatever. Like within 5 days. So I'm like, okay, $1 a day for sunglasses during the summer. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's new. The new thing is like you drink whiskey and then deadlift, right?
Yeah.
So what's the gem there?
I don't know. I think it all started with like Chris Duffin.
Yeah, that was a Duffin thing,
that was like
right?
a very Duffin thing.
Yeah.
And now
but now everybody does.
So it's funny. I was at a meet this weekend.
Yes.
I was at an unsanctioned multiply powerlifting meet.
Nice.
Holy shit. It was like they left those fucking white lights on and go ate lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was just like, you're passing, you're passing,
good.
you're passing.
You get a white light. You get a white light.
But it was really, really cool to see. Just like, I felt like I went back in time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what 2004 was like.
Sure. Well, I'll see dudes at a meet. And like I said, it's normally the multiply guys, right? Yeah. But like, there would be a dude at a meet, like a sanctioned meet, and he's in a warm-up room.
Yep.
Taking a shot and then straps up and goes squat. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a thing? Like people are doing this now?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's the scientific?
I don't fucking know.
Nothing,
like,
right?
I think it lines up with the whole idea, like if you can, like, it's the same reason that you take a shot before you went to go talk to a girl at the bar.
So just relaxing.
It's just like kind of chills you out, and it's like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna do this thing. And I think it's also part celebratory. Okay. It's like you fucking made it. If you made it this far, you didn't bomb out.
So I mean, are guys still doing it? Like going to the meets with their bottle of whiskey, along with their ammonia capsules and
many other things.
Yeah, right.
I watched somebody, actually the guy that we were watching, I think him and the rest of us polished off an entire bottle before he hit his third attempt on deadlift.
See, that's badass. I would get back into powerlifting, like if somebody's rolling a keg in.
Well, it's
you know what I mean? Like, hey, in the warm-up room, guys, we got some waters back here for you. We got some chalk is over here. We got some liniments if you need it. And here's a keg.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
It was. I just think that there should be a progression.
Yeah.
Right. It's like soda and squats. Right. Like start off kind of hydrating, and then you go to bench and beer, and then it's whiskey and deadlifts.
That's not
right.
bad.
Like so, you're finishing with that high note.
Yeah, you're doing like the Greek Olympics and Revenge of the Nerds. You're probably too young to remember that.
Well, we used to do beer Olympics in college.
Oh, you gotta watch Revenge of the Nerds, dude. They got this little dude on a tricycle, and they're doing laps on there. But every lap they gotta stop and chug a beer. Yeah. By the end of it, they're all just falling over. It's awesome. So Revenge of the Nerds, kids, watch it.
In college, one of my claims to fame is that we did the Centurion Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
That's always a good idea.
It wasn't.
Never is.
So I did 117 and 117.
Oh God.
And it wasn't the fact that it didn't even have enough time to get drunk.
No.
It just sits in your stomach.
Yeah.
Immediately, as soon as they're like, you're done, I was like, cool. Went outside, uked everywhere.
Yeah.
And then just rallied, ate a
that's
sandwich.
You know, whenever it's like, hey, you want to try this drinking challenge? Just walk away.
We trained for it. It was weeks. It was like a 6-week block. It was started off, we were like, oh, I got to like 25 or 30. I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel bad.
Yeah, right.
But then I saw that I beat everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody stopped at like 17 or 18.
you're
And I'm
just
like,
rolling.
I'm going to fuck these guys
Like,
up.
I'm good at this.
Yeah. I was like, give me a few weeks and I got this shit.
Yeah, we used to play Roxanne. So
Oh, yeah.
the Roxanne song by Police. And every
it
time it says Roxanne, take a drink, like the same thing. Like that, I couldn't wait for that song to be over.
Well, you could also do that with like AC/DC, Thunder.
Anything.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and I've seen people do that. I did the Roxanne thing.
Yeah.
This is so fucking stupid. I went to a bar and I was on a date and I was like, latter half of college.
Yeah.
I was 21 and she was, obviously we were both 21. No fake IDs here. But that song came on and I was like, oh, I bet she doesn't know this game. And I started that game and I don't remember the rest of the night.
No.
Like, because I was drinking just Jameson.
We should try the Roxanne with the lifting. Like every time they say Roxanne, you got to do a bench press. Like with 135.
So there is something if you go to AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
Okay.
Right? So you do it with push-ups or bodyweight squats. So you go down, right? And you hold until they say thunder again. So it's like up,
yeah.
down,
Those
up,
are your
down,
commands, up and down command.
Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah. I wonder, we could probably start a TikTok trend.
Oh, I mean, please. Like,
Right? The kids love the TikTok.
I
TikTok
think
is the thing
that's
to
what
be.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't get on TikTok. People send me these TikToks and
That's
like
how
in
it
a
works.
text message, like they'll text message me a TikTok. Well, the aggravating thing is like I click on it and then the video is quick, right? And then I can't get out of it. And then another video is loading.
Yeah, of
and then
course.
like
Welcome to the algorithm.
I close my phone, but it's still on my phone. Like my screen will still show TikTok. I'm like, how do I get this off my phone? Like it is a trap.
Yes. And they like the timing of things, like how quick they send things.
Right away.
And it's just like all of a sudden there's like a half naked girl there and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
how did I get over here?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the old, YouTube video vortex, right? You watch a video, the next one comes up, like, oh,
Fucking
well, I'll
rabbit
watch
hole.
this, and
Total rabbit
yeah, I'll
hole.
watch this, and it's like, I started with like how to rehab a tricep injury, and I get to like how to change the oil in a 1967 Ford Mustang, some shit. Like I'm like, what?
It's like I always knew how to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's crazy. I can't wait to see what comes up on my news feed after this conversation.
Oh shit! Everybody's listening.
Unbelievable.
Not
man.
good. But yeah, no, I think kind of go back to your to the running thing. I give you so much fucking credit for doing it because it like for most people, they don't really get that bug in their ass. It's like they do the thing and they're just like, fuck it, I'm done.
And I hate it. I mean, I really hate it. Like,
Yeah.
The way I'm continuing it is in my mind. I'm like, okay, dude, it's 10 minutes. Like this 3/4 of a mile little route that I'm doing is taking me 10 minutes. I'm like, you can suck up anything for 10 minutes, right? Like, I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't enjoy it at all.
Now
You know what I mean?
now you're tracking it with your watch.
So I got this new Garmin watch, and it's got all kinds of.
Fucking
It's even got this little thing on here where like it yells at me, right? So like
Yeah.
if I'm sitting too long, it'd be like, move.
Move, fatty.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta move. But yeah, it's horrible. And running's boring and it sucks. And it pisses me off because we moved into this community with it's all young people. Like there's like a row of these townhomes that I live in, and it's like they stick all the old people over there.
Sure.
And then all the young kids are in
You
restaurants.
guys are closer to dying.
Yeah, and there's like thousands and I mean, this area I live in, it's like literally like 10 city blocks.
Sure.
But it's like one big like open community anyways. There's just nothing but like young, good looking people running around. And
Yeah,
they
obviously you're there.
piss me off. Like me and my wife were like coming down the back leg. We're both dying. Like this is like day 3, right? We're like,
They're like
and like
floating on clouds, sprinting by
some
you.
girl's like running by me, like bubbly. I could tell this is like mile 7.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey guys. And I'm like,
glistening.
can't breathe. We ran by 2 other dudes and we're like, nice day. I'm like, I can't get words out, you know? And I'm like, this sucks. And I just see these people and it's like, they're so happy. Like, look at me, I'm running, I'm happy.
But that's, you know what? I'm going to fucking go on a little tangent here. I think that's why they do it. I think that's the majority of people, because I don't think a lot of people, once you get to a certain point with running, like your body becomes so efficient at it, you're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah, you're just doing it. But I think it's kind of like us lifting, right? Like, I mean, you get to the point where like, if you don't lift, like say you take like a week off, like you get cranky and you get shitty.
That's where I'm at now.
That's where I'm at, because I haven't been consistent lifting because I've been trying to do this running thing. So I'm like, man, I gotta lift. Like I'm starting to like freak out. But I think you're right. I think once you get into that habit, it becomes a habit and you're doing it daily or every other day, whatever you want to do, it does make you happy, right? Like right now I'm pissed at the happy people. Yeah. Like I hate you. Yeah. Why are you so fucking happy?
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
But do you feel good right after?
I do. And that's the funny thing is like when we're done and I catch my breath.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's good. And what we do is we do this 3/4 mile trek. Then we finish right by our front door. We grab the dog and then we walk for a mile.
Oh, that's good.
Kind of like cool down, kind of like let shit kind of settle.
Yeah. Let shit settle.
You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, but I do feel better. Like, you know what I mean? And it's weird because like from day one to like now, like I do, like when I'm doing this run, jog, walk, whatever, I do, like I feel each day it's progressively better. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. And one of the things when I've kind of dabbled in this a little bit is like I would always pick the same path. Is like you almost have these little landmarks.
Yes.
It's like, all right, this mailbox, I felt like dog shit.
Yes.
But now I felt like dog shit 10 feet after the mailbox.
Or if I'm like, if I can just jog to the next stop sign.
Yes.
You know? We're coming back to backstretch. We're passing these houses and condos. I'm like, I just got to get to that apartment building. And then I can stop. But I mean, you know, it's all about goal setting, right? Like everything in life. Like I'm a believer of like goal setting. Like you should have a goal set, right? Like the first of every month, I'm like, okay, new month, these are the sales I want to hit for the month. Like this is my goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to save this much money this month, right? Like I'm a small term goals. I hate long term goals. I don't like in 5 years I want to be doing this.
Yeah, you're more like a 2 to 3 yards clouded dust.
That's me, man. You know, I played in the wishbone, baby.
Yeah, right.
You know, give me those 3.5 yards.
That's it.
But I think, you know, with this, it was like, I knew it would be a challenge for me. I really have not ran since high school. And I knew it wouldn't be easy. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, this is probably going to benefit you a lot.
Yeah.
And even if I get it to where I'm only jogging 2 or 3 days a week, that's better than none.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? And then now what I got to work through is finding the balance between coordinating the lifting and then the jogging in between. Because like I wanted to squat Sunday, but I knew we had to jog and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? Right. And I jogged. And mainly because my wife, like, she kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit because she's like, we gotta do it now. Like, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not ready yet. Give me a minute. Like, don't make this work or I will quit. Yeah. You know? And she's just a go-getter when it comes to this stuff. But, you know, she enjoys it. I do it. I hate it, but I enjoy it. We'll see what happens. Well, this is week 2.
I think I started, actually right before I came out here, I was going on these like rucks in the woods. Yeah. So I had this fucking weighted backpack on, and I was like following my buddy Orlando. He's like this 5'2" Mexican dude who just has the engine of a fucking Ferrari. He just goes all day.
Those people drive
and his
nuts.
energy was it was contagious. Yeah. And I felt like your dog. Yeah. Like just like dragging, mouth breathing. I had a 10 pound. I had a fucking backpack with a 10-pound plate in it. This motherfucker had a 50-pound backpack, and he weighs 126 pounds.
And he's just...
And he is motoring.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying, but I think back on it, dude, and and my son's kind of the same way. Like, I was never good at running long distances. Like even as a kid,
No.
I'd be gassed right away. Now, you put me in a sprint, I'll beat your ass. Like, you know, I was always like one of the fastest guys on the football team. But when we had to run the big lap, I'd be coming in last. And my coach is like freaking out. Like, how are you the fastest guy in camp and you're coming in last? I'm like, I can't breathe. You know what I mean? Like
Fast twitch.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like, and so I've never been good at running a distance.
Sure.
So, you know, here I am. I'm like, hey, you know what, man? Like, I think I've reached most of my strength goals that I wanted to get to.
But it's funny because you see that a lot as people get, like, actually Juji's dad is like runs marathons and shit.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like it's I think as you get, not you, but as people get older, like the endurance thing starts becoming more attractive.
Well, not only that, dude, you go to the doctor, right? Like I do these yearly physicals, right? And the older you get, like, you know, like I show up this year and he's like, oh, you're 45. Well, you need to get a colonoscopy. I'm like, God damn, what? Like, no. Oh, your cholesterol is high. We're going to start you on cholesterol medicine. I don't want to take cholesterol medicine.
Right.
You know, because I'm one of those like, okay, you're going to put me on this, and then that's going to lead to 3 other pills, and the next thing I know, I'm taking 16 pills a day. I don't want to do that. So I think you freak out a little bit, right? Like,
right.
You're 45. I've seen classmates of mine have passed away, you know, whether it be cancer, heart attacks, whatever, right? And you're like, shit, I'm 45. Like, how many years realistically do I have? It's less than what I've already lived, most likely, you know? So I'm like, all right, like, if I can jog a little bit and it buys me an extra 5 years at the end, but does that really hurt anything? And the other thing too is as you get older, you're very limited to what you can do that you used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Like I used to be able to go out and play like flag football and stuff like that. Like, I can't do that anymore. You know what I mean?
You
like,
can do it once.
One play. But you kind of find like things like, you know, like even lifting, right? Like like my joints hurt, like shoulder hurts, hip hurts, like, and not like something might be good one day and bad the next day. You know, so I'm just trying to find those things that I can do to stay active. And my wife and I we started our family young. You know, we only had the one son, but we were young. You know what I mean? And now we're 45, she's 43, empty nesters. It's like,
that is fucking young.
Yeah, but we planned it. You do it one of two ways, right? You either start very young and you live your life at the end, or you start late and you do all your shit in your 20s and 30s. So, you know, these are the years, but I want to be able to, like, hey, let's go to Colorado and go hiking, or
right.
I want to do shit like that. I don't want to be stuck in the chair. Like 3 years ago, if somebody was like, hey, let's go, like even going to the mall, I'd be like, oh God, like I got to walk around this fucking mall all day. And what if I got to carry a bag? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's very real.
It just sucked, man. And I don't want to live like that. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? I'm too young to live like that. I mean,
no, 100%. And that's something that regardless of someone's age, like you don't realize that your ability to move is so, it's so paramount to just
it is
feeling well.
And your body changes so much.
Oh yeah.
I think like from like 30, well, even like the last 15 years, right from 30 to 45, your body just changes and just like things don't move. I guess they can move. Like, right, there are people at 45 that are freak athletes and can do everything. I mean, Tom Brady, for Christ's sakes, is still playing football. You know, but if you're not doing those little things to kind of keep your body, fuck that guy. To do those things, and I don't stretch, I don't foam roll, I don't eat right. Like, I mean, I do everything wrong.
I'm a fucking jog,
but I'm going to jog now. You know?
I like what you said. Like you said, dial it in, right? Yeah. Like, I think there's so many times where someone's like trying to make this huge drastic change. And it's like, dude, I'm going to eat salads.
Yeah.
I'm going to run. And I'm going to do
yoga. Dude, you haven't never done that in your life.
Like, no, you just ate a jar of peanut butter with your hands.
And that's why
you do it.
People fail, I think, most of the time when they're trying to get back into shape or lose weight, or, you know, and the diet thing kills me. I'm like, dude, you're not going to go from eating McDonald's 3 times a day to just eating salads and drinking water.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it.
No. No, not even close.
Dial that shit in, limit it, and then kind of, build off of that. And like, you'll see results fast, especially guys. Men, listen, if you're like in your 40s, like if you just stop drinking soda, like you'll drop 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Like
throw a little bit of weight around, move your body a little bit more, and then, like cut some of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
it's not that hard.
No, but the thing is, it's those little, it only takes a few decisions in the right direction to get the ball rolling.
That's it.
It's like your first 3 to 5 decisions are hard.
Yes. They're hard. You're giving up something that you've been doing forever.
Right. And like you have to have that conversation. You almost have to have a talk with yourself to be like, I want to do this so bad, but I shouldn't. Be
realistic with yourself. What are you willing to give up?
Right.
Right. Like I'm not willing to give up having a couple of drinks now and then. So I'll give up eating pizza 3, 4, 5 times a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're not willing to give up, say your McDonald's Big Mac, then find something else.
Yeah. It's just that give and
because
take.
once you see the results and you see your body changing and things changing, you're feeling better. Like you'll be like, okay, now I'm going to give up one more thing.
Yeah.
But every time I see somebody like, I'm starting the Atkins diet or I'm going keto
carnivore.
or whatever, I'm like,
yeah, right.
Dude, good luck.
Yeah, it's the complete and utter elimination of things, right? Like that cold turkey approach that some people, like for me, I have to do that. Like I if I have shit in the house, I'm gonna fucking eat it,
dude.
Right? Like if I have the wrong things for lunch, I'm gonna fucking eat it and then be hungry after, and then just fuck up an Uncrustable in the fucking break room.
Right. And I go through stages, right? Like I'll like I think it was one day I was starving. I went to Kroger and I grabbed like a sandwich. Well, as I'm passing by, I see the Swiss cake rolls.
Oh, so good.
I'm like, I'm going to buy a box of that.
Fuck yeah.
I'll just eat one. I'll give the rest away in the office.
Yeah.
I hoarded those.
Yeah, of course you
So
did.
finally, I show him to Blaine. I'm like, hey, dude, have you ever had one of these? Like, no. I'm like, try this. And now he's like hooked on them, right? Yeah. And I'm like, but if I buy it, like you said, I'm going to eat it. Like the M&M's crumb cake, don't buy that shit because I will eat the whole thing.
Because it's one serving.
One serving in one box for me.
That's all it is.
I'm eating the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, it's, but you just try to cut those things out. And like I said, I love food. I love having drinks.
Because it's delicious.
I'm not willing to give that shit up, but I was, after seeing my grotesque figure on screen, I was like, damn, I got it. Like, that's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I graduated high school at about 140 pounds.
Get the fuck out of here.
Swear to God. About 140 pounds.
Knew you were a model.
I was like, no body fat. You know what I mean? I could eat whatever. And I just still had abs and like chiseled. And I kind of got heavy like in my early 20s, mid 20s. Then I got back into lifting. And I was about 175, which I think is a really good weight for me. I was carrying it well. Then I started working here, right? And it's dude, you got to get bigger, eat, get jacked.
Yeah.
And I went up to like 210. And then somehow I woke up at one point, I was 235 pounds.
That's pretty good, man.
Dude, I'm like barely 5'7" on a good day. So I mean, I looked like literally like a bowling ball. Yep. And nothing fit. Like it was really bad. I was like, and that's when I saw myself in that. And I'm like, I gotta
stop.
So it was like Christmas 2019.
Yes.
So 2020, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make these changes.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic hits. So I'm like, well, I guess I got no choice but to, because you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. So, I mean, I was outside walking. I bought a bike. I was riding a BMX bike.
You're
like
preaching to the choir.
I'm losing this weight. So at one point I got down to like 189. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. And I've kind of like fallen back into like old habits a little bit, but I mean, I'm maintaining about 200 pounds, but I think if I could be down to like 185, I'd feel good. So I'm hoping maybe jogging and cleaning things up a little bit.
Yeah, and again,
will account for 15 pounds, but I don't know.
You can fucking make and people listening to this is like, you can make jogging anything, right? It could be rucking, it can be literally fucking anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I got the weighted vest, which I'm going to start incorporating into the walking. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. It's just about that consistency.
Yeah, that's it, and that's all it is. And I mean, like, life ain't that fucking hard.
No,
it's
no,
really
it's
not.
not.
People make it out a lot harder than it really is. It's like you do the right things. Like normally things work out for you.
And one tip that I can give people that I have to do myself is if you're in a situation, if you're constantly living in your head, like all day long, like of course it's gonna feel like the hardest decision in the world.
Oh man.
But as soon as you say out loud, I don't want to run, I want to eat this Swiss roll.
Yes.
You're like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna go run.
Right. I mean, it's not a hard choice.
No, it really isn't. But if you make it a reality, like if you even just say the words out loud, it's like I am choosing to not do. It's like okay.
Yeah, just make the choice to get up and move.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's like the biggest thing is like God. And I mean, you see it a lot. Like people like retire. Like he was a police officer for 40 years, and then he retired. He died the next week.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean, it's like I don't want that.
It was 1 week from retirement.
He fucking had a heart attack. Yeah. Like I don't want that. You know.
No, I do want to go out like a rock star. Like I want to go. I want to like live, die.
Yeah, man.
Like see ya.
You know, I know like my one buddy's dad, man. Like he's just this guy. He's like got a full head of like silver fox hair. He's got like a tan. He's jacked. This dude running around like a maniac, 70-some years old. I'm like, that's
TRT's a thing.
That's living. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? I'm like, that guy's got it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I think once you stop and it just everything goes to shit. So
it's all momentum, right? Like you just kind of build a little bit of headwind, just kind of push.
Yeah,
push.
That's it. Like
just keep it rolling. It's easier to keep it rolling. It is to fucking start over all the time.
Right, but you got to get it rolling.
Yes.
So don't set unrealistic diet goals or exercise. The exercise thing, like people are like, oh, I went to the gym, I did this, like so sore, I can't move. I'm like,
I've been sore for a week.
Yeah, like because you're dumb.
Yeah, right.
Like, take it easy. Like, you know how long it takes to build muscle? I mean, it's years. Like, just slow down. Mm-hmm. Like it took you 30 years to fuck yourself up.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you 35 to unfuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like you got time, pal.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now, man. Like I haven't made the greatest health choices in the last 25 years. So I figure I got 30 years to fix them. I mean, you know, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, you know, but I eat shit.
Loser.
Right? I know my voice sounds like I smoke a pack of Marlboros a day, but I don't. I've never smoked cigarettes. And, you know, I just, you know, bad diet habits, lack of moving, and a little bit of alcohol. And I mean, I know like if I dial those 3 things in, I'll be okay.
Fun fact, this is actually an intervention.
Is my family coming out now next? Right. If you take this gift now.
Door number 1 is a brand new car. Door number 2 is a goat. That's what,
No, it's good, man. Life's good, man. Enjoy it, shit. You know, I mean, gosh, you see a lot of people now struggling with like mental health and all this other shit. And I think, God, what if you just took a deep breath? You know, and just
that's one of those
relax.
things. Like I've noticed, even from my own perspective, is like I spend all day like in a virtual world, and it's so hard to just cut that tie.
Yeah,
and like and to allow your body to just kind of go back to baseline.
Yeah, that's like the big struggle. So like mental health is really rough, and like I've never had issues there. Luckily, so I don't understand it, and you know, I empathize with people, and I'm like, it's horrible you're going through that, but like, you wonder like, what's the studies between like mental health and like regular exercise and diet? Like, I imagine it's got to be huge, right? But for me, like, I just wish. I think people put too much pressure on themselves, and I think what you're saying, like the constant connection. Like I got to get better at that. Like when I get home, like I gotta just turn it off.
Cut it off.
But I'm still answering emails and text messages, and it's like
I'm like reading comments, and I'm like looking at shit. It's just like, bruh.
Last thing I look at night is I check my email. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is check my email, and it's just like, you know, and my wife's right. She's like, you have to be able to put it down, and I got to get better at that. But I think, you know, for the most part, I think I'm happy.
Yeah, right.
I hope so. You know, you never know, I guess, but I think I'm happy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess if I can clean up my lifestyle and my health.
Well, I think that's just, it's it's a process.
It is.
And it's as long as you're like taking those little baby steps. And this all sounds super cliche and shit all the time, but that's really what it is like just like it's amazing. Like one of the things I hate the most, like in the fitness world, has always been those fucking watches and shit. Because it's like I didn't press my watch, so I didn't really work out. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. But still, it's also one of the best fucking tools to be like, hey, that number says 3,000 steps today. Let's try to make that 4,000 tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think anybody who is going to try to start moving more, like the first thing you should do is go out and buy a Fitbit or something.
Just that awareness.
So you can keep an eye on it. And you get that, hey, like you said, I did 3,000 steps on average this week. Next week, 3,500.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think that's a big. Like, I mean, what's a Fitbit cost? I don't even know. A couple $100. Yeah. Like, it's again, like like I knew if I invested in this jogging thing, like I spent $435. I knew, okay, now I'm in. Like,
you're right.
I spent the money. I'm going to use it. I think if you buy a Fitbit, you invest in it a little bit. Maybe you move a little bit more. Yeah. Like you said, like thousands more steps every day.
Yeah, and it is. It's just that momentum. It builds. It's easier to keep it going.
Sure.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of people, even with training, with lifting, right? Like, if consistency breeds that improvement over time.
Yeah.
Like that's why fucking 531 has been such a popular program, because it's so simple and it's like, do this, add 5 pounds.
Right.
Do this, add 5 pounds.
I mean, time under tension, right? Like, dude, it's like
100%.
And I mean, the lifting thing kills it because people jump in it and then they're like, well, I'm not seeing results. And I'm like, you're not. Like,
I tell people, right? Like, it's, you won't see results first. The first thing you will notice is someone else will notice something.
Somebody else will see something else, right? And then, like, you try to understand like what 1 inch means, right? Like, to lose 1 inch on your waistline, like that's a lot. You know what I mean?
Systemically, a very hard. Yeah.
And it's just not. It's the process, right? Like, we all trust the process. It's a process. Like, it takes time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, Dave's been doing this for his whole life.
700 years.
Right? Like, since he came out of the womb, he was fucking bench pressing.
Dinosaurs running around.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big giant of a man. Like, when you walk him in, he's like a big imposing guy. He's got the broad shoulders, and he's just a big dude. Like, that didn't happen overnight.
No, absolutely not. And it's, I can't even calculate the thousands and hundreds of thousands of fucking pounds of force that has been on his body and all the people that have been training for years and years and years. Like, it's like, you can't even calculate that.
No.
Like, there's no fucking way of calculating that.
No, and then that's why it's like, you see, if someone's trying to make these changes in their lives, like, it's not good. 1 month doesn't mean shit.
No.
Like, 1 month of cleaning up your diet, or 1 month jogging, or 1 month lifting, like, that ain't nothing, dude.
And like, even a year, like, you blink, a year goes by. I've been fucking here for a year.
Dude, a 1 year, like, when you're a kid, is like an eternity, right? You're like, oh my God. I could do a year on my head.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, that's a blink of an eye.
Yes.
I mean, it's, time as you get older shrinks, right? It's like,
well, and it continues regardless what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, it's never gonna stop.
No,
so,
no.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, like, to kind of wrap up that conversation is like, the best way to get in shape is stay in shape. Like, we all have time. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I even hear my own kids say, like, I don't have time. Like, no, everybody's got time. Like, I'm telling you, you can find 1 hour in your life that you waste every day. I still do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But, like, you have time, find it. And you'd be surprised what 30 minutes to 1 hour of anything will do to you 7 days a week, 365.
Absolutely. And to kind of add that, and we can kind of wrap this up, is everybody is so focused on such a short amount of time. Like, the attention span on most people is so short.
Sure.
Right? 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and then you're thinking about other things, right? If you put 30 minutes of continuous effort into one thing. You would be fucking blown away
by with the changes
with what you can do over the course of time.
Yeah. I mean, like that's back to like setting realistic goals. Like don't decide you're going to start going to the gym and be like, oh, I'm going to spend 1.5 hours in there, just lift the whole time.
Right.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Do 30.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, I think that's a great spot to kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
One of these days, we're going to fucking actually drink beer on this thing.
Yeah, we got to get Nate and Chris in there.
on.
They're going to be pissed that we did another one without them. So we got to find out.
Well, like where the faces, like where the pretty faces,
something like that. So we need to find a way to do this like after hours, like on a Friday night or something.
Oh fuck yeah,
it'd be funny.
That works.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, thank you very much for watching this. On behalf of myself, Matt Goodwin here. I think this was episode 103 of whatever the fuck we're going to call this thing. As always, make sure you check out elitefts.com for all of your training paraphernalia. If you can load it on a bar or put it in a gym bag, we have it. And if you have any equipment queries, contact Matt Goodwin here.
Yeah, email's the best. mgoodwin@elitefts.net because we can't afford a .com.
Perfect. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
That's it.